Recently, UNEB released UCE exams. Now, this particular exam raised a lot of questions because a new grading system was used. To answer a couple of your questions on Talk of the Nation tonight, we have brought the Executive Director of UNEB, Daniel Odong. Could you please talk to us about the new grading system? Why did you choose it, and what exactly was wrong with the previous one?
Now, the focus here is to ensure that the learners acquire certain behaviors, skills. Of course, you have to have knowledge, then skills and competencies in the different learning areas. Now, in order to assess the competency-based curriculum, you can no longer use gradings like the distinction and so on and so forth. The grading has to change, because now when you are talking about, when you have the content-based curriculum and you're talking about these distinctions and so on and so forth, you are really trying to rank. You are ranking, this one is a D1 and you know you have to be here and so on and so forth. But the competency-based, we are looking specifically looking at that candidate. What is this particular candidate? What skills and competencies and knowledge has this person acquired? How do you describe that person? And that formed the basis of grading.
There have been different interpretations of these results. Others have attached distinctions to A's, credits to B's, F9s to E's. Please, could you tell us, how do you arrive at the score A or even B?
Under this competency, unlike previous where you give somebody a fail grade, okay, you would have a D1 and an F9. Okay, the person has an F9, they have failed. But it is not true that even when somebody has an F9, that person, what it signifies is that the person knows nothing. It's not true that they know nothing. They have something. And so this grading recognizes that yes, people will achieve at different levels. So we will describe exceptional performance, we will describe outstanding performance, we will describe satisfactory performance, we will describe basic performance, and we will also describe elementary performance. So that's the basis for the grading in the new curriculum. We are looking for the knowledge levels, the skills levels, acquisition of competences.
But don't you think, though, that the new grading system is similar to the old one? Because the Senior 5 selection started yesterday, and we've seen schools taking students that have scored A's and B's and leaving out those that have scored E's and D's. How then do you convince someone who has scored an E and a D that they are all in result 1 and so they are as competent as the rest?
So the bands, the A, the B, the C, the D, and then the E band. Now, we have described E as elementary. Elementary, the person has something, but for the award of the certificates, this person does not qualify. So an A person who is described as exceptional is obviously better than an E person who is elementary. You see? A B person is obviously better than a C person. A B person is being described as an outstanding performer. He is better than somebody who is being described as a satisfactory performer.
What are learners supposed to do to determine which subjects they performed in best? They are best than subjects. Say, I have all A's or all B's in a particular subject. How then will I know that I performed better in physics or I performed better in mathematics.
If you have A's in all level, in all the subjects, what it means is that you are exceptional all round. So now you follow your heart. I am exceptional all round. I can do history just as well as I can do physics. But at the end of the day, I want to be an engineer, or I want to be a medical doctor, or I want to be an economist. And that's where schools now play a great role in guiding and counseling the learners. What do you feel you want to be? Because I'm sure you must have dreamt to become a journalist. So even if you had scored whatever grades in all your subjects, you would have still said, since I want to be a journalist, this is what I'm going to pursue in order for me to become a journalist. And that's precisely what the students will have to do.
Do you see this grading system being adopted by other levels, say PLE or the primary level?
Yes, because I think that gradually we have to reform the entire system to become competency-based. And so we will also have to align our grading to speak to one level speaks to the other. We transition smoothly.
According to the UCE results released recently and your speech on that day, the lower secondary curriculum has actually done well because the performances have been outstanding. But those are 4 years of learning about this new curriculum. Now, what will happen to the A-level curriculum that is not fully out, but students have to struggle and adjust to it in just 2 years?
The modifications, the necessary modifications that had to be made have been made. And so the learners who are going into Senior 5 will start on what is already there. But what I am saying, and I'm sure the PS must have said it, is that the overall reform of the UACE curriculum has not yet been completed. This is a start. It was necessary that some very necessary changes be made in the curriculum of UACE in order to fit with the experiences that the learners who are coming in from UCE have gone through. But as I said, in the next 2 to 3 years, I'm sure the overall, all the changes that require to be made will have been made. But the PS is right. What is required now is in place. And the S5s will go and find that they have something different from what their schoolmates who are in S6 have gone through.
The lower secondary curriculum still has gaps. We have seen more than 6,000 students who do not know their fate as yet. Government hasn't found a solution for it. So how are you going to convince a viewer out there that the A-level curriculum will actually have a solution? They will have a solution for those that will not meet the required grades to proceed to the university or to any other institution after that.
We are parents, we are uncles, we are aunts, and so on. So we worry about the fate of those who may not be able to progress to UCE, UACE. But we believe that anyone who has gone through this curriculum, even when they have not got the minimum D, they have got some competency which can enable them to pursue some vocational training that can equip them with skills.
I understand that these students are supposed to report to school on March 3rd. PS said that the A-level curriculum was ready and that a number of school heads had been oriented. But from what you have told me, it seems like the curriculum in itself is not yet ready. What do you have to say about this, sir?
What we have done for now is to conduct intensive training for all the teachers of senior 3 and 4 throughout the country. In fact, we trained about slightly over 60,000. And the assessment of projects was one aspect of the training. And we have given very, very clear guidelines and scoring tools for them to use. And so now the next thing we are going to embark on, depending of course on availability of funds, we hope we shall have the funds, is now to intensify our monitoring of not just the projects, but continuous assessment generally.
As we wind up, if there was one thing you could say to a student about this new grading system, what would it be?
Result 1 does not mean first grade. That is how the confusion that I understand came all over, you know. Result 1, everybody has got a first grade. Result 1 in this particular instance just means you have met the conditions, the minimum conditions to be awarded a certificate. That is, you have got a pass 1D in any subject.
We have been speaking to Dan Odong, the Executive Director of UNEB, and he has answered a number of questions about the new grading system as well as the new A-level curriculum. I am Lydia Felly Akullu. Thank you so much for watching Talk of the Nation.